There is a space within you that has never been shaped, never been forced, never been broken down and reconstructed to fit the expectations of the world. A space untouched by judgment, unaffected by ambition, unburdened by definitions. This is the uncarved block, the pure, unconditioned essence of your being. In Taoism, this concept is known as po, which translates to simplicity, original nature, or the uncarved wood. The sages of old saw that every being is born whole, unshaped, and limitless, like a block of untouched wood. But as life progresses, society carves away at it, imposing names, expectations, attachments, desires, and beliefs, until what was once whole becomes fragmented. And yet, the Tao teaches us that the most powerful state of being is not the most refined, the most intelligent, or the most accomplished. It is the simplest. The one who remains as close as possible to their natural state, moves through life with clarity, ease, and effortless wisdom. The wisdom of not forcing. In our world, complexity is often mistaken for sophistication. People chase knowledge, titles, achievements, and external validation, believing that the more they accumulate, the more they become. But Laozi, the great sage of the Tao, warned against this illusion. The more laws and restrictions there are, the poorer people become. The more clever and ingenious plans are made, the stranger things become. The more possessions one hoards, the more is lost. To the Taoist mind, the pursuit of more often leads to less. The more we try to refine ourselves, the further we drift from our original nature. The more we force life to conform to our desires, the more resistance we encounter. But when we return to simplicity, to the uncarved block, we find that we already possess everything we need. A tree does not try to be useful, yet it gives shade. A river does not force its way, yet it carves through mountains. A child does not strive to be wise, yet their curiosity is closer to truth than most scholars. The greatest wisdom is not something to be obtained, it is something to be remembered. The child and the sage, two faces of the uncarved block. The Tao Te Ching often compares the uncarved block to a newborn child. A child does not yet have rigid concepts of good or bad, success or failure, worthy or unworthy. They simply are. They move with life, fully engaged in the present, unburdened by self-doubt. But Taoism does not suggest that we remain childlike in ignorance. It suggests that we return to a state of unforced being, but with awareness. The true sage is not someone who clings to complexity, but someone who has walked through life's illusions and returned to simplicity. The wise one is like water, fluid, humble, without struggle. The sage is like a valley, lowly, but embracing all things. A sage is simply someone who has remembered what was never lost. The problem of seeking. Ironically, the more one tries to become wise, the further they drift from it. This is the paradox of spiritual seeking. The more desperately you chase enlightenment, the more it eludes you. The uncarved block does not chase, it simply remains in its original form. This does not mean we stop growing or learning. It means we let go of the need to be a certain way. When we stop trying to prove, define, or perfect ourselves, we become lighter. The most powerful person in the room is not the one who speaks the most, but the one who has nothing to prove. The most intelligent mind is not the one that knows everything, but the one that remains open to the unknown. The most beautiful soul is not the one that shines the brightest, but the one that is content in its quiet radiance. Simplicity does not mean deprivation. It means freedom from unnecessary burdens, living as the uncarved block. To live in alignment with the uncarved block is not to reject the world. It is to move through it with ease and authenticity. It is to recognize that the more we strip away what is unnecessary, the more we return to the core of who we are. How can we begin to embody this wisdom? Let go of labels. The moment we define ourselves, I am this, I am that, we begin carving away at the block. The Tao teaches that true selfhood is fluid. When you let go of rigid definitions, you become open to transformation. Trust simplicity. We often believe that if something is simple, it must be lacking. But in Taoism, simplicity is the highest form of mastery. Complexity is often a mask for confusion. True clarity is found in what is effortless. Do less, achieve more. The more we try to control, the more things slip through our grasp. But when we allow things to unfold naturally, They often work out better than if we had forced them. This is Wu Wei in action, trusting in the flow rather than pushing against it. Return to what feels natural. Ask yourself, what feels light? What feels true? What brings peace? The path of the uncarved block is not about external perfection, but about inner alignment. Observe nature. Everything in nature moves effortlessly within its purpose. A tree does not stress over whether it is growing fast enough. A bird does not question whether it is worthy of flight. They simply follow their nature. So too should we. Closing reflection. The art of returning. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the uncarved block is this: you do not need to become anything. You only need to return. Underneath all the layers of conditioning, ambition, and self-doubt, there is a space within you that is untouched. A space that is already whole, already wise, already in perfect harmony with the Tao. Laozi tells us, to attain knowledge, add something every day. To attain wisdom, remove something every day. Until there is nothing left to do, and all that remains is the Tao. So today, let go of something, an expectation, a judgment, a need to prove yourself. Allow yourself to be as you are, without force, without effort. Because in the end, the uncarved block is not something to be found. It is something to be remembered. It was never lost. It was always there. It is you.